right, standing with me is another participant, and this time a woman participant. I've got Amna Khaishgi here with me. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So she has done a film. You said you were telling me a bit about it, Kingdom of Women. Can you tell us a little bit more about what it's all about?
Well, it's basically a short documentary. It's about a small market in the heart of the city, Karachi, where I was born and brought up in that city. It's like a small market within the city, and it is known as MENA Bazaar. And it's actually established before the partition, before 1947. And people say, like, there are lots of stories about that market, that it started with some Mughal era, and somebody over there, maybe by the princess. It's a completely woman market. Men after the age of 4 are completely not allowed in the market. So the place, don't assume it's a very great shopping mall. It's a very small, humble building, which we have cubicles, kind of a small shops over there, and they are run by a ordinary woman.
Okay.
Most of the women, actually, they started their business, well, most of the women are from the migrant family who were moved to Pakistan after partition, and they were completely, they had nothing. So they started selling their crafts they hired that place and started selling their craft and that place.
Well, that sounds extremely inspiring. The next question I wanted to ask you is, while shooting this film, is there anything that happened that was very, very close to your heart, or an experience that you've had?
Well, the whole experience was, I will never forget that experience. I've spent about 4 days in that bazaar, day and night, and we had a very limited resources. Most of the the equipments were actually on favor. We didn't have the money to pay all the the camera people and everything. So that was, and again behind the camera kind of a story. But I spent about 3 to 4 days and nights in that market, in that bazaar, MENA Bazaar, and I met lots of ladies, which every woman, I felt so close to them because they had such a great inspirational story. Yeah. And I would never ever forget a lady over there. She was about 60 plus something, a very old lady, very thin, a very fragile lady, and she was stitching a gharara. It's a very traditional cloth in Pakistan, with her hand. And I went over there and asked her, why are you doing so at this age? And she started crying, and she said, I've been doing this in the last 40-50 years in this small cubicle. And because of her stitching, and she had been able to raise, she was divorced, and because her husband didn't want to come back, didn't want to migrate to Pakistan, and they decided to to divorce each other. So she went all alone with her 6 or 7 kids to Pakistan. She had nothing in her house, and she was completely uneducated. She had a craft of stitching. She started stitching ghararas for different elite ladies in that place, and today all her kids are settled. Somebody is a CEO, somebody is settled in USA and Canada, whatever. But she is not ready to leave that place. She said, this is the place where I really want to die. And
how do you feel that HUM TV has opened up such a category for all you filmmakers out there?
It's great initiative, I must say. There are lots of great filmmakers around us, and because they don't have the great production houses who can actually support them, so whatever they can contribute to the society, they're doing their best. By introducing such category, actually, giving tribute to these unsung heroes, the filmmakers who have not been able to get to the wider audience. I hope this segment will become bigger and bigger, and more people would be able to show their films and share their stories with the world.
All right, thank you very much, Amna. We wish you all the
much.
best, and hopefully this makes it very big for you.
I hope so.
Thank you.
I hope so.